Hey, let's take a trip around the curve. King Charles III was officially crowned and a coronation concert kicked off with Katy Perry, Andrea Bocelli, and Lionel Richie. The Tony nominations were announced along with news that cabaret star and composer Joel Grey and John Kander will receive special Lifetime Tony Awards. With Cannes right around the corner, Michael Douglas is set to receive the film festival's honorary Palme d'Or Award. Brie Larson, Paul Dano, and Julia Ducournau are officially part of the Cannes Film Festival jury for 2023. Damien Chazelle is set to preside over the Venice Film Festival jury. And Andrew Garfield is set to play Carl Sagan in Sebastian Lelo's Voyagers, and Daisy Edgar Jones is set to play Anne Droyan. Harry Condon joins Brad Pitt in Apple's F1 racing film, and Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Aissa Gonzalez are to reunite with Guy Ritchie for his next film. In solidarity with the WGA strike, Drew Barrymore has dropped out of hosting the MTV Movie and TV Awards. Kelsey Grammer and his Gramnet Productions inked the first look deal with CBS Studios, and Mafia Spies doc-series has been ordered at Paramount Plus from Creative Chaos, Danny Strong, and Matt Jackson. Elizabeth Moss, Kate Jackson, and Kaya Gerber are set to star in the thriller Shell for director Max Minghella. Automatic and Black Bear International Jermaine Fowler joins Legendary's Faces of Death. Hello, Professor. Amy Poehler, Michael B. Jordan, and Cynthia Erivo are teaching at Harvard with the new learning platform Versity. Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell join the romantic comedy Anyone But Your Eyes with a pre-Christmas launch. Simon Rex and Chris Cooper board John S. Bair's Everything Going to Be Great for E1. Academy Award winner Fisher Stevens launches a production company Highly Flammable. Sheridan Smith and Celine Buckins will star in Paramount Plus's UK adaptation of Lucy Clark's novel The Castaways. Ty Sheridan joins Jude Law, Nicholas Hoult, and Justin Kurzel's crime thriller The Order for AGC Studios. And Vice Media is reportedly prepping for bankruptcy filing, seeking a buyer. Jason Reitman is set to direct based on the behind-the-scenes accounts of Saturday Night Live's 1975 opening night for Sony. Gil Keenan co-writing with Reitman. Sidney Chandler is set to lead Noah Hawley's Alien at FX, and Taika Waititi is set to direct 3,000 Pictures adaptation of Clara and the Sun. Maybe the Academy has revealed updated rules and regulations for the 96th Annual Academy Awards behind that Andrea Riseborough drama. And Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal are set to talk and star in the Hamnet adaptation from Amblin and Chloe Zhao. Pedro Pascal joins Ridley Scott's Gladiator sequel at Paramount. Norman Lear's The Corpse starring Miles Heights are greenlit at Netflix. Zoe Dutch is joining Clint Eastwood's Juror Number 2 at Warner Brothers. Sylvester Stallone is set for a cliffhanger reboot from director Rick Roman. Wow. And we got a house full of legends, y'all, including book club stars Jane Fonda, Mary Steenbergen, Candice Bergen, plus Cannes Film Festival MONICA Director Andrea Pallaoro, and a review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Next on The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata, starting right now.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Yeah, you know we shoot straight from the hip.
This is Carla Renata, aka The Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know we shoot straight from the hip.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata, and I'm Carla Renata. Yeah, I'm so stupid. If this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up to let me know you were here. If you were on YouTube, if you're watching via Twitter and LinkedIn, thank you. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And click the bell for notifications if you are on, click the bell for notifications if you are on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel. I got a little distracted. Something popped up on my phone. Sorry about that. Anywho, I have so much to say, but before I do that, let me say hello to my boy Brandon. He is always here, ride or die, and he says that he got a 95% and A this semester 2 of his animation classes, and he'll be in semester 3 this summer. He says that oh, I said that's great. And then he said he can't wait to see Across the Spider-Verse next month, and Star Wars Volume 2, Young Jedi Adventures were also great. Thank you, Brandon, for keeping me in the loop and keeping me on my toes. I do appreciate you for that. So I usually start off the week, y'all, with Around the Curve, which you just saw. And then I usually do a little recap of what my week was like. So this week was very special. It was very, very special for a variety of reasons, no pun intended, with this picture I'm about to show. So my good girlfriend, Octavia Spencer, was honored by City Year Los Angeles last night. It is an organization that is youth driven, and they have this spring break activity that they do every year around this time. It is an educational initiative that Octavia has been a part of since 2011. And last night they honored her they gave her an honorary City Year Values Award nominee. She also serves on the board for that organization. But what made it special is, we oftentimes have spoken about our dear friend Sonia Eddy, and we call ourselves the Four Divas: myself, Sonia, Octavia, and Yvette. So it was even special that be able to hang out with them last night. This is Octavia and Viola Davis, who presented Octavia with her award, EGOT winner EGOT winner, I'm putting it out there, Octavia, EGOT winner Viola Davis. And then we went backstage to say hi to Miss Chloe Bailey, who just came off a tour, Grammy winner Chloe Bailey. Now, not to be confused with her sister, Halle Berry, who's going to be in The Little Mermaid, which drops in a couple of weeks. But we went backstage, and in the picture from left to right is myself, Tiffany Haddish, Chloe Bailey, Yvette Nicole Brown, Viola Davis, and our girl, Octavia Spencer. Here is Chloe getting it on. Thanks to Getty Images for these photos. And then this is a throwback to when Octavia, myself, and Yvette went to City Year LA once before. And this is us last night. And of course, at every event, I always got to get in a selfie with me and Yvette. So that's Yvette and I with our traditional selfies at every event that we go to. As I said, for this episode of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata, I'm going to talk to Andrea Pallaoro, who is the director for MONICA, which is going to be debuting at the Cannes Film Festival in a little bit. I'm also going to do a review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's the last one in that series. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Book Club, the next chapter. I have all of the ladies except for Diane Keaton, and we did miss her. I also wrapped the series of animated series. I told you guys I'm an actor. I say that all the time. I'm an actress, and I do a voiceovers for a series that's called The Croods Family Tree, and I play Foom. And so this was a little picture that we took at the wrap party, and this is a better picture where you can see the flame on the side of my face that illustrates my one of the characters I'm related to. I can't say who I'm related to just yet. And then I popped on downtown to check out 1776. It's an all-female version musical. Now, Shauna, who's in this picture with me, Shauna and I met during the pandemic on Clubhouse. So it was nice to take Clubhouse to real life, and I popped backstage at the stage door to say hello to her. And then unbeknownst to me, I get to my seat with my program and find out that another person that I know, who I did not meet on Clubhouse, but I do know her. Her name is Carol Foreman. She has joined the company as Robert Livingston, and I'm really happy for her. I didn't get a chance to holler at her backstage, but we did speak a little later on. And then the Emmy nominations came out, the Tony nominations came out, but I would be remiss in not mentioning, this person right here. That is a photo of me and Kevin Spiritus. Kevin Spiritus plays Dr. Craig on Days of Our Lives, and he and I went to high school together. So that is us back in the day, and this is he and I now. We don't look that much different. It's kind of cool to see how we haven't aged at all. But I just wanted to congratulate him and congratulate Octavia Spencer on their honors, and Carol Foreman and Shauna on their tour of 1776. And that is it for what I did last week. Now let's get right on into it with these reviews. Now, Um, I went to see, I'm gonna save Guardians for last, but I'm gonna get into this movie Monica. Monica is about a a woman, a trans woman who comes back home. Her mother has dementia, Alzheimer's, and she wants nothing more than to get the love and acceptance that she needs from her mother. And it's kind of not happening. So she's looking for love and acceptance in other places. It's a deep little film. It's a lot going on in that film, but it's directed by the fantabulous Andrea Pallaoro, and I spoke to him about that, his thoughts about the hate and the vitriol that is going toward the trans and drag community, and about Monica and his thoughts about it, and if we're going to see him do something else. So here is a look and a listen to my interview with Andrea Pallaoro from Monica.
You know, we're in a very precarious time right now, concerning the trans community and how the trans and drag communities and how they're being targeted by politicians and for their own personal and financial agendas. And I just wondered if you had an opinion on that at all.
Oh, yes.
You're like, yes, I do.
I'm dumbfounded, and also like I'm very resentful of what's happening. You know, I don't I can't believe it in a way that we are in 2023 and this is the conversation that we're still having. Monica is not like a blanket symbol of the trans community, in the sense that, like, I want her to be seen as an individual, you know, like I want her to be seen as a character, an individual character with all her idiosyncrasies and characteristics. But that being said, I do find that her story is as important as ever right now, to be told and to be shared with as many people as possible, because the threat is very strong and very real.
I also love that Monica is a story that it really begs to the question of needing, wanting, and not getting the love and affection from the one person you crave it the most, right? Is what I got from it, which is such a very, very powerful message. How did that resonate with you as you were writing and creating this piece? Because it really resonated with me.
Yeah, well, beautiful. I love that, and I'm so happy that that's the case, because that was certainly the main impulse. You know, the desire to explore the dynamics and complexities of abandonment, of not being seen, of not being recognized for who you are, were the driving force for me. You know, and I think that's a very, very human experience. You know, it's something that we can all connect to in one way or another. And I think it's through the character of Monica, we are offered the opportunity to understand how those traumas, however big or small they might be, but like the role that they play in our lives and our individual lives. And I think it's something that, you know, the abandonment as a, you know, as an experience, I think it plays a very, very important part in defining our identities and also our desires. And so it's something very important to take a look at.
What's going to be the next story that we get from a female point of view from you?
Well, I actually, there are a few projects in development. And I'm equally excited for all of them. But I'm at a stage yet where I can't speak about it. But please stay tuned, because there will be one coming soon.
I love that. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. I love the film.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much
for what it represents. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, I wanted to thank Andrew, because it was a situation that particular day that I filmed that junket. I was at another junket with the ladies from book club. So I did that interview with Andrea, ran in, did the ladies, came back out and talked to Patricia Clarkson, which I don't have that. I said I was going to have that interview today, and I don't have that interview today because for some reason I thought the PR people had sent me the link and I don't have it just yet. So I'll save Patricia for next week, along with Bernadette Peters. But yeah, MONICA is a deep little film. And just to reiterate what it's about, it's going to drop on May 12th, which is this week. And just to reiterate what it is about, it stars, it is about a woman who returns home for her ailing mother, whom she hasn't seen in years. So Patricia Clarkson plays her mom, and she hasn't seen MONICA before she had the sex change operation. And so there's a whole lot of feelings that come up for both of them in regards to that. It's directed by Andre. It's written by Andre. All of his Andrea. All of his films are done in a series of 3s. So, and they're all really strong films about really strong women. His last film was Hannah. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that title, and it's distributed by IFC Films, but it's also going to be part of the Cannes Film Festival. So I wanted to put that on you guys' radar. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Book Club, the next chapter. So there was a movie a few years back called Book Club. It starred Diane Keaton, Mary Steenbergen, Candice Bergen, and Jane Fonda. And all 4 of them had their distinct personalities. They got together and decided that they would start a book club, and this book club spawned all kinds of things for them. But it's so much fun. But they're best friends. They and this time they get together, they take their book club to Italy, because by the time we come back to Book Club 2, the next chapter, the pandemic has happened. So their book club has shifted from being in person to doing it via Zoom, and all of that entailed. And that was kind of surreal to watch, because it still feels like, to a certain extent, the pandemic is just like this really foggy memory, but it did happen, and it did shift everyone's life for the better in some instances, and in some instances not so much. But so they shifted to Italy. It's like watching the Golden Girls take a trip to Italy, and it ends up being like girls trip. That's what it was like. It was so funny. I laughed my buns off. And they end up having this girls trip that they always wanted to have, and had discussed it in their youth, but never got a chance to do it. And then when things go completely sideways, there's secrets that are revealed. Their relaxing vacation turns into a once in a lifetime cross-country adventure. The thing that made me laugh harder than anything else was, if you've ever been out of the country, well, as soon as you come off the train, plane, automobile, whatever it is, there's always a bunch of people that like bum rush whatever it is you're getting out of, offering to take your bags. Let me just give you a FYI, but not really, piece of advice. If somebody comes up to you at an airport in another country and offers to take your bags, do not give it to them, because 9 times out of 10, they are not the porters, and baby, that bag will disappear, never to be seen or heard from again. Okay. The guys in the film are hilarious. It's Don Johnson and Craig T. Nelson and Andy Garcia are their respective beaux, and they are just as funny. But what I love about Book Club, the next chapter, the most is that in this film, usually in these types of movies, romantic comedy type of movies, it's always the woman seeking to be validated by the man. And in this film, the men need the validation from the women. And I loved all of that. Not to mention the fact that this film is hands down directed by Bill Holderman and written by Aaron Sims, that it really just kind of makes you want to it really just kind of makes you want to jump on a plane and go to Italy yesterday. It really is. I spoke with Aaron and Bill too. I will find those interviews for you guys, and I'll bring them all to you next week. I have no idea where they are, but I will find them. And maybe I won't bring them next week. Maybe I'll just air them a couple of days before the film drops, because this film drops on May 12th. But I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm going to let you listen to what the ladies say about being a woman of a certain age and embracing what all that is, And if they'd ever, investigate being on a dating app and how they feel about the men being validated by us as opposed to the other way around. So take a look and a listen to this interview with Miss Jane Fonda, Miss Mary Steenbergen, and Miss Candice Bergen from Book Club, The Next Chapter. Hello.
What is curvy?
Curves.
I understand
Curvy
that.
is what she is.
But is there a magazine called Curvy?
No, it's my outlet, the Curvy Film Critic. That's what I
see.
call it, because I'm curvy and I'm a film critic.
Love
Well, that's
that.
logical.
I love you for asking that, though, Candace. Nobody's ever asked me that.
Well, I'm a ferret.
I love it. Y'all are hilarious. And you're hilarious in this movie, and I love it for this reason. You are seasoned dolls embracing every bit of what that means. And I was there for all of it. I was there for the stuff on the boat. I was there for the stuff in the trailer. I was just there for all of it. But having said that, would you guys ever hit a dating app to go on a date as opposed to what transpires in the film? And I'll start with Mary first.
I would, but I don't think Ted Danson would be amused.
I know this.
No, I mean,
Ted Danson is her husband.
That part.
I mean, I think it'd be fascinating to read the bios and all that stuff.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm scared to put my name on anything that I don't want tons of mail from. So
I overstand. How about you, Candace?
No.
That was simple. Miss Jane?
Yeah, no, it's hard to meet the right person. And I've been married 3 times, and I know how hard it is, and I know I would not go on a dating app. And, God knows what would happen if I put my name on a dating app.
I shudder to think what would go down. And you guys have a tribe. You all have, your girls are your tribe, and y'all are really, really tight. How important is it for you at this juncture in life to have a tribe and a group of women that you will ride or die for and that you trust no matter what?
Well, I don't have a hardcore tribe, but I do have a group of friends that I call on when I'm feeling
Love.
at sea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important.
I do have a tribe, and they keep me honest, and they make me brave and strong. I make sure that my tribe, they're all younger than me, smarter than me, braver than me, so they can make me better than I am. And I depend on them completely.
You have the same ideology as my mom. My mom thinks like that.
Yeah.
How about you, Miss?
well, I don't know if they're talking like I'm even in their tribe, but they are in my tribe. I'll just continue with that delusion as long as I can.
Having said that, how important is it for you as women of a certain age to embrace love and sexuality and just the vibrancy that comes along with being a woman, and you don't let it just go by the wayside just because, you got a couple of years on you?
It's God-given. You might as well just enjoy it every bit as long as you can. Why say no to anything so lovely?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm a lot older than Mary.
Not that much.
She's like, I got something different to say about
And
that.
I'm a lot older than any of them, and I have closed up shop.
Oh, okay.
Although there's a sign.
Oh, yeah.
You said there's a
Closed
sign.
due to flooding.
There
It
was
says in-
an announcement about a year or two ago, and everybody went, oh.
Yeah, she did make an announcement.
That's hilarious. And last but not least, this film, more so than any other film I've seen, lets the women validate themselves as opposed to letting the men validate
Hello.
the women,
Yeah.
right?
Here.
And I want to know how important it was for you all to embrace those characters in that kind of world, because we don't see that often.
Well, we just gave it 100%.
Yeah, and Bill Holderman and Aaron Sims wrote that too, and they created these characters, and they happened to cast 4 women that felt so strongly about that and each other that it all just worked.
Yeah.
I love that. Let me just say, I love y'all. I'm about to get a little verklempt. I have been fans of all three of you for as long as I can remember, and it is my immense pleasure to sit in front of you today to speak with you about Book Club, the next chapter.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so
Very
much.
nice. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
I did get a little choked up, y'all, because, you know, it's not these women have been on my television screens or in movie theaters that I have gone to for most of my life. And what is the likelihood that I would be able to sit opposite them and speak to them about their work and working on these films and how they feel about it? I literally did get a little choked up, and I meant what I said. It was my immense pleasure to speak with all of them. It really truly was. All right. So having said that, let's talk about these Guardians of the Galaxy, honey. The Guardians are back. It's volume 3. It is a Marvel Studios joint. And you know, they got shenanigans. What can I say? They have shenanigans. But what I will say is that this was the premise this time around. So, still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill, played by Chris Pratt, must rally his team to defend the universe and protect one of their own. If the mission is not completely successful, it could possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we have come to know them. When I tell you, if you have been following the Guardians of the Galaxy volumes 1, 2, and 3, the major thing that you walk away with, is that soundtrack, baby. The soundtracks from all 3 volumes is the jam. I mean, they be pulling out Earth, Wind, and Fire. The songs that they pull out are just, the old jams that they pull out are just, it's great. It's phenomenal. So the first thing you walk away with is, I got to go get that soundtrack. The second thing you walk away with is, how is this going to end? I'm not going to tell you how it's going to end because Disney's not going to come for me. But what I will tell you is, it's going to tug at your heartstrings. It's going to make you feel some kind of way. And what it really does is it gives you you get a little bit of backstory into each one of the characters that you haven't really seen before. And it brings them all full circle into this final journey that they're having now. And, in addition to that, they've added yet another character. Like, Marvel is killing it with the evil doers being black men this year. First, it was Jonathan Majors in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and now we got the High Evolutionary, played by Chukwudi Iwuju, in this iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The biggest lesson you're going to learn from watching this film is that everyone wants and needs to be loved. It seems to be the theme this week for me with these films. Everyone needs and wants to be loved. And some people don't get it the way that they wish they would get it. And some people get it, but don't necessarily know how to process it. And then some people process it, but when they lose it, or when they lose something or someone that is dear to them that they love, they have a hard time moving forward in that process. This was probably the most heartfelt of the 3 volumes that I've seen. It's directed by James Gunn, and it was a lot of fun. I took my mom to see it, you guys, because my mother loves Marvel movies. I'm always trying to get her to come on camera with me to review them with me, but she's a little camera shy. She's not a performer. She's a nurse. So there's that. I don't know where I got all this from. Probably my daddy. I don't know. But she really, really loved it. And I loved it too. And the dialogue was nice and witty and kitschy as it always is. It also was written by James Gunn. The dialogue is always very engaging, and I was riveted from first frame to the last. Whenever you hear me say I was riveted from the first frame to the last, that means I really enjoyed the film. Let me just check out some of these comments because people are talking to me, and I kind of love when y'all talk to me. So I was talking to Raven over on LinkedIn, and she said that she loved the flip on the stereotypes when it comes to book club, the next chapter. I love that too. I really did. And she also said that she was happy to see Candice Bergen and was watching reruns of Murphy Brown recently. You know what? Candice Bergen is a tough cookie. She's a tough interview, but I kind of appreciate her candor, and I appreciate her being real, because all too many times I will encounter people that aren't real and that don't keep it real, or have some canned version of what they want to tell you as an answer, regardless of what you ask them. So I appreciated her for keeping it real. You said you haven't seen 3 yet, but you like my videos. Thank you, just Niqual. I think it's Niqual. Correct me if that's wrong. You're going to love 3. It's a lot of fun. And the soundtracks are fire. I totally agree. And what else did you say? You said Wham Bam 70 song stays on the repeat rotation. I know that's right. I know that is right. Thank you so much for joining me for this edition of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. I appreciate all of y'all, joining in and talking to me, because it just, it breaks up the monotony for me too. Nicole. Okay, just Nicole. Thank you, because I hate when people mispronounce my name. So I'm going to put it up so that people know when they see it. It's Nicole, just Nicole. Thank you, sister, because I hate when people be calling me Renita, Carly, Carol, and I can't stand that. So thank you for correcting me, just Nicole. I appreciate you. But that was it for the reviews and things this week, y'all. I have some other ones, Assassin, and I Am Virgo, which is coming to Prime Video. I'll be talking about that. But next week, this is what I have for y'all next week. So I'm going to bring you those. I'm somewhere on social media. I'm going to bring you the residual interviews from the script writer and director from Book Club, the next chapter. I'm going to bring you the interview from Patricia Clarkson. This is Patricia Clarkson, because I keep saying her and y'all are like, who is Patricia? You know that face. You may not necessarily know her name, but she's in that movie Monica, which I mentioned, and I interviewed the director. But I'm gonna bring you that interview with her. And then next week, I'm so incredibly excited. Baby, the legend situation just continues for me, and I am there for all of it. All of it. I'm so incredibly excited. So incredibly excited. I'm going to have Javier Bardem. Now, the last time I saw Javier Bardem, he was clowning my hair in a press conference for Pirates of the Caribbean, and the rest of the journalists were mad because between him clowning my hair and playing with this microphone that I had that had a really fuzzy mic cover on it, they were so angry because they didn't get all their questions in. But I'm going to have him and my girl, where's she at? Let me find her. I hope I put her in here. I may not have. I didn't. But I'm going to have him and Melissa McCarthy from The Little Mermaid. And I'm also going to have Miss Bernadette Peters, who is on the Apple TV Plus show called High Desert. When I tell y'all, I got my entire life this past week interviewing Jane Fonda, Mary Steenbergen, Candice Bergen, Bernadette Peters, Patricia Clarkson, and now I'm getting ready to talk to Javier Bardem and Melissa McCarthy. And I love, y'all know how I feel about Melissa McCarthy. That's my girl. I love her so very much. But I'm going to have all of those for you guys too. And then I just wanted to show you something real quick before I go. Yvette Nicole Brown, who I talk about often on this podcast, is a friend of mine. And she recently was on the Tamron Hall show, talking about being a caregiver and things of that nature. And while she was there, she spoke about our dear friend Sonia Eddy. So I'm going to show this picture as I close out the show, because it meant a lot to Octavia Spencer, as I spoke about at the beginning of the podcast, to have us there, have her girls there for her honorary award through City Year LA. That is Sonia Eddy in the middle. She was our friend. She was our sister, and we miss her dearly. She played Epiphany on General Hospital for over 300 some odd episodes. We miss her dearly. And I just wanted to close out by saying that about her, because we love her, and hit this one last comment Raven said, what did Raven say? Raven said, great show as always. I really enjoy your content. You're awesome. And I'm going to let y'all see what she said because I kind of like what she said. Thank you, Raven. Girl, tell your friends so we can have a party up in here the next week you come. But that is it, you guys. And I am always so honored that you take time out of your day to watch and listen to the podcast. All of the films that I speak about here are at thecurvyfilmcritic.com. I have it on the ticker at the bottom. You can go to thecurvyfilmcritic.com and Rotten Tomatoes for my written reviews of any film that you hear me talk about or see me talk about. And I also want to make sure that you know that Book Club, the next chapter, is going to be in theaters on May 12th, right along with Monica, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is in theaters right now. So having said that, y'all, I'm just, I say this at the end of every show. People are nasty out there. They be sneezing in your head. They be trying to touch you after they ain't washed their hands. It's a situation. So please continue to wash your hands and be vigilant and be respectful of others out there in them streets, because we do not want to go back to ground zero. That was a horrible place to be. Nobody's trying to go back there. So having said that, I will see you next week when I have Javier Bardem, Melissa McCarthy. Hopefully I'll have Patricia Clarkson again and Bernadette Peters for a new live episode of The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all, and deuces until the next time. Bye.